Hey fans, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to share with you my next project, which is almost done. This is a Vanquish H10 Optic that I've done a few upgrades on. This is different than my other optic. This is started out as the blue Sparco livery from Vanquish, but I wanted to do four-wheel steer, so I had picked up from one of the part out guys local to me a set of axles. I think I've shown that before, but this is what it came out to be. So we got blue chopped carbon vinyl wrap, some Sig Sauer decals. So I just want to basically show you what I've done with this. I'm calling it Overkill because it is way overkill for any optic. This isn't to say that this is the way it should have came. This is just my vision of what I wanted to see and what I wanted to do with the optic after running it on the trails. But this is it. So on the surface, we got set of Vanquish wheels, using the Geolander Yokohama tires that came with the kit for now. See what they can do. I did do the grill. This is the FJ version of the grill. Did some headlights in here, but basically just Lexan and made a grill out of some expanded metal just to kind of give it a little life and a little spice. I did put all the Vanquish gold scale hardware in the nubs, put a little bit of scale hardware on the front tube, which I think I'm going to do that in either an aluminum cap or something to that. Just to kind of spice it up a little bit more in the front end. But yeah, so I did eliminate the faux driver or passenger seat on this side. I think it just looks better as a single seater. And the rest of it is pretty much, I'm going to have to take the body off to show you that. So I will do that. I'm waiting for some new DSM battery trays to come in, and when they come in I'll go over that as well. So as you can see, I'm going to run one battery. I only have a plug on this side, but let me go ahead and take the top piece off. And alright, so up front, electronics wise, we got a Reefs RAW 500, the Operation 11 Charlie edition with the gold on it. We got some gold Reefs servo washers. Kind of goes with the whole gold thing that I'm going for here with the scale hardware. So that's the front side. The powertrain is a Castle 2850 Slate motor, a Castle Micro X2 speed control up here, and we got two RAW 100 Reef servos to run the VFD twin. So we have front overdrive shiftable and rear dig on it, as well as another Operation 11 Charlie RAW 500 in the back. Ran out of servo washers, got to order those, got to keep those in stock. But this is using the supplied bracket that comes with the H10 for setting up the servos for a VFD twin. These use the Reefs spacer bracket to use the Raw 100s. I had them, so figured this was the best use for them instead of sitting on a shelf. Been waiting to use these in something else anyway, but really digging it. Literally digging it. But yeah, so that's the layout. And you're thinking to yourself, that's a lot of wiring. You're absolutely correct. There's a boatload of wire right here, and I ran out of channels with my Spectrum radio setup. So I got a Flysky radio that I'm running. They have this little printed thumb steer for the rear steer, so I can run my rear steer and have all my goodies on here. And you're gonna say, well, that would max out the channels on a DX5 or 6, and you're right, but I'm also running rock race mode out of the X2, so I need to have 6 clear plain channels to work with here. And unfortunately, Spectrum does make a beautiful rugged 6, but they don't have a receiver with 6 or 7 channels on it yet. So I spent another $80 on a radio, which is fine. It's not a big deal to me, but might be a big deal to some. But anyway, I did put aluminum or brass beadlock rings from Vanquish inside of these tires, just to put a little bit more weight on the front end, because the back end is heavy with all this mass on the chassis. So just wanted to offset that by putting a little bit of brass in the front. I'll break out a scale here and see what it weighs once I put it all back together. So, all right, scale zeroed out. Let's see what this pig weighs. Ugh. There we go. There we go. So right and left we're at 50-50. We got a little bit of front bias, 53 and 47. So I'm going to probably have to make an adjustment here for my battery, because I don't want to run a super small battery in this, but I guess I could. I mean, being four-wheel steer, I'm probably going to do a lot more climbing than I am trailing, so yeah, maybe so. But anyway, that's where the weights came out, and I think that's a kind of a good weight for this, for what it is. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll figure out batteries, waiting on those DSM boxes to come in before I give this thing a run. They should be in tomorrow, and then we'll get back with some running video of this absolute weapon. See the play? Absolute weapon. So all right, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate you. I appreciate all of the subs, and actually, you know what, let me stick around. We'll do a bonus. You'll see what I didn't. All right, so like I said, the parts I didn't use on the project. So I haven't used the battery straps yet. I'm sure I will, but I wasn't a real big fan of the power tank. Just kind of not my speed. I did not use the big heavy radiator. I put a actually a 93 millimeter crossbar in its place. It was a crossbar. It was actually a link from an axial builder's kit from a 10.2. So I'm not sure what link it was, but it fit. But I don't need that. It got in the way of the servo anyway. And speaking of the rear servo, this is the bottom battery, or the bottom of the fuel tank, so didn't use that. I did not use the blue optic grill. I put in the printed one. Like I said, I took out the faux passenger seat back rest piece because it kind of looks silly in there with only one person in it, and a half of a seat. Let's see, this is the bottom crossbar from the fuel tank that had to get removed to make clearance for the servo on the rear axle. This is the piece of the fuel tank I cut out to make room for the servo and retain it. This is the tray that I cut out for the dig and overdrive servos. Various screws, and these are the two upper rear links from the stock rear axle. When you put in the H10 optic front axle on the rear, the link geometry needs to change for the upper links, and the upper links I actually used H10 lower links, so they're equal length, upper and lower on the rear axle, rear steer axle, and it put everything perfectly in line. It's got the servo and the caster, and everything is the same as the front, literal. So it's the best way to do it. So if you're looking to put an H10 rear front axle on the rear to make four-wheel steer, you just need an extra set of lower links, which are the same as the Phoenix the twin Portal Phoenix is that lower link for the rear is the same as the optic, same lengths. So that's what I didn't use. Also on this, I did put in a set of hardened Vanquish gears front and rear. I do have aluminum third member chunks in the front and the rear to kind of stabilize gearing. The stock ones, in my opinion, are kind of not set up if you're going to do anything aggressive. And that motor, I went brushless. That motor is going to kill the stock gears, as I found out quickly on my other H10. So I just went ahead and put them in there to start with. This transmission in here, the VFD twin that I put in, has the lightweight setup for the motor mount, and the second gear set is a lightweight machine gear set, and the machine gear set in the twin itself. So it's pretty much a bulletproof drivetrain. My fusible links are going to be the plastic drive shafts. I'm going to retain those. I'm not going to put incision drive shafts in this one, just because I need somewhere for power to go if it needs to go somewhere. But yeah, I must say, happy Vanquish Day. It is Trucks of Freedom just kicked off. I did order 2 of those, so waiting to see what I get when they come in. And if you haven't been able to get your Trucks of Freedom, keep an eye on the Vanquish website. I'm sure that more will pop up as the month goes along. Being as this is the 3rd of July, I'll say this. Happy 4th of July, and I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend and holiday with your family. That's all I got. Thanks again for watching and sticking around for all my mumbling and my brain creations, I guess you could say. It's just the truck that was in my brain and had to make it real. So